And joining us now is Sister Monica Yuan from the Eucharistic Missionaries of Nazareth in Spain. Sister, thanks so much for being with us. And it's so important, the work you did. We talked a little bit about this. Anytime we talk about the real presence of Christ in the Eucharist, it's a great day. Can you tell us about the Eucharistic Missionaries of Nazareth? I got it out. I'm getting a little, that's making me nervous. All of these relics are making me nervous right now. Who founded it?
Well, the Eucharistic Missionaries of Nazareth, we were founded by Saint Manuel Gonzalez Garcia, who is one of the patrons of the Eucharistic revival with Blessed Carlo Acuti. Blessed or saint, we are almost there.
Close.
Yeah. So he had a very deep experience in an abandoned tabernacle, he called. It was dirty, there was nobody there. And there he understood that sometimes Jesus in the Eucharist are more alone than in the cross. That's our medal, because in our medal we have the cross and with three Marys, Saint John and the Blessed Mother, and there is nobody in the tabernacle. So our mission as Eucharistic Missionaries of Nazareth is to Eucharisticize. That word doesn't exist neither in English, neither in Spanish, Eucharistizar. So that's our aim, our mission. Be with Jesus in the Eucharist, the Mass, Eucharist, the real presence, the adoration, Eucharist, living the charity to everybody. And also announce to other Catholics, to other people, that Jesus is there waiting for them. He wants to give his love, he wants to hear us, he wants to talk to us. So, and there is a lot of people, also Catholics, that doesn't know. So this is our mission. This was the mission of Saint Manuel. He was a priest, then he was a bishop. And this is our mission, and also the mission of the Marys of the Tabernacle, Calvaries, and Disciples of Saint John, a lay association who also want to be with Jesus in the Eucharist, praying and announcing others that Jesus is there waiting for them.
Sister Monica, I was at the Eucharistic Congress, and it was there that I learned first of Saint Manuel Garcia. You might remember that moment. But you were there too, displaying his relics. What was that experience like for you? You were Eucharisticized, I think, a bit.
Yeah, I think so. It was a great moment, not only because we were there, but it was a great moment for all the Catholics in the U.S. I don't know how many, but thousands of people were in the relics chapel. There were 7 saints, relics from 7 saints there. We prepared this special reliquary with 4 relics, 3 first-class relics, bones, blood, hair, and a piece of wood of the coffin, a second-class relic. And that was in the relic chapel, and in the booth we also have the hat. This was the hat of Saint Manuel. We have many stamps and many pictures where Saint Manuel wear the hat. And I feel so moved. I have one picture in my mind. In some moment we were there talking with some people, with another, and a woman arrives there. We have it in a table. She touched, she fell on leaves, and she was praying and praying and praying. And I remember this moment a lot, because I don't know who this woman was, but I said, Saint Manuel is so important in her life. And it's curious because Saint Manuel was born in Seville, he lives in Malaga, Huelva, Palencia. He never was here in the US, although he wrote to the Bishop of Cleveland, because there was in 1938 an Eucharistic Congress here, and Saint Manuel wrote the bishop, do you want to know more about the Marias and the disciples of Saint John? But he was never here. But we are knowing now that people here feel so close to Saint Manuel, perhaps because of the Eucharistic revival. They are discovering the Eucharist, and when they read books from Saint Manuel, they say, oh, that's okay, I understand what he's saying. I also want to be with Jesus in the Eucharist. I want to go more to the Mass, to the adoration. I want to Eucharisticize the world and also Eucharisticize my life.
What's a typical day like for you, sister?
Well, in Spain, the times are different than from here. I am going to say that I get up at 7. There is really early, not here, it's quite late. And then we go to Mass, we pray together, and we have our personal prayer. It's more up to 9. Then we have breakfast. And I have a lot of things to do because Saint Manuel founded also a magazine, El Granito de Arena, the little grain of sand. So I am the director, the one who writes, the one who designs. I enjoy it.
You do it all?
Yeah, more or less. No, I have a lot of people helping me, but I studied. In fact, my general superior asked me, I think 20 years ago or 15 years ago, to study journalism, to be the person in charge of the magazine. So I have a lot of things to do, and also have to prepare a lot of things to come here, to go to a mission to the United States or to other parts in Spain. We have lunch together. Lunch is an important meal in Spain. It's a big meal, not like here just a piece of pizza. No, it's the biggest one. And then also in the evening, we have time to pray together. For us, it's very important to pray as a community. Saint Manuel, that's the name. Our name is Eucharistic Missionaries of Nazareth. People think, oh, you have a house in Nazareth. No, we don't have houses in Holy Land. But he always said, you must live like Jesus in Nazareth, being a family, helping each other in the regular things, not very big things. You are going to be in the small things of every day where God is so present, because that's why Jesus wants us to live. I mean, God can choose how to do things. Sometimes we cannot, but God always choose the little thing, the small things. So that's our life. We also pray in the evening. We have 2 hours of adoration, and we offer also our church to people to go to pray with the Blessed Sacrament. And then we have also dinner and some moment to be together and to joke and to smile, and we want to.
Sounds like it sounds like a wonderful day.
Yeah.
Well, sister, unfortunately, we're out of time. Where can people learn more about what you do?
Well, we have our website, so they can go there. We are Eucharistic Missionaries of Nazareth, or Misioneras Eucarísticas de Nazaret. Saint Manuel Gonzalez is also every day better known here in the U.S. And also in other countries. We have houses in 9 countries all over the world. So I think it will be easy to find us as Eucharistic Missionary of Nazareth.
Thank you so much, sister.